Hello everybody, welcome back. Try and hold the camera steady. So today I'm going to be doing commentary with Nick Purr on the British Chess Championships in Liverpool, round 8. Unfortunately, there is a far right protest apparently taking place outside Hatton Garden. Not looking forward to that. This sort of thing shouldn't be on. I absolutely despise Nigel Farage. If he becomes Prime Minister, I'm going to leave the country. I hate all those kind of people. Okay, apparently he's not far right, but he inspires a lot of these people. Tommy Robinson, or whatever his name is. Anyway, let's talk about the chess. I should give a shout out to David Lightfoot, who's doing a wonderful job of sorting out the technical side. If he does it again next year or in one of the following years, he will have to be paid. He should have been paid really this year. He's done it voluntary, but he's done an amazing job. So shout out to him. So, one of the things that struck me yesterday when Supratit Banerjee came into the room with Ami Gartzi, how good Supratit's calculation was. I mean, him and Amit were discussing lines like two adults. I mean, Amit's an adult, but I keep saying Shreyas. I've got Shreyas on the mind as well because he's up there. Supratit is also very, very good, and I think his calculation is on a par with most GMs. I would say that he lacks experience, but once he gets a position, he can just outplay anybody. Basically, he's that good. So Shreyas is now potentially going to have a chance to win the British Chess Championships. And I think over the next 3 or 4 years, you're going to see a situation where Shreyas is going to force himself into the England team. Then you're possibly going to have Supratit, Banerjee, and Bodhana Sivanandan also up there. Other players like Ethan Pang. So it's not easy to get 2600, right? It's not guaranteed these players will get 2600, but I think they've got a very good chance. If some of these players want to have a chance to be world champion, they're going to have to be 2600 by the time they hit 16, 17, 18. I think Shreyas is 2490, but I think over the next few years he's going to gain quite a lot of points. I hope. We all hope. But more importantly, he's got a great chance to be British champion. If he wins today against Stuart Conquest and Michael Adams doesn't win against Gawain, he's black against Gawain, that's a tough pairing. He hasn't done that well against Gawain in recent years. So I find it quite hard to predict that pairing. I mean, I think the most likely result is a draw, but it could go anyway. That's really a tough one to predict, I would say. But I would say that Shreyas is definitely a slight favourite, at least against Stuart, although I don't think Stuart's a pushover by any means. I think Stuart's quite experienced. I think Wadsworth gave away the game a little bit yesterday, but he lacks experience, Matthew Wadsworth, whereas one of Stuart's great strengths is he's got a lot of experience. And he's up there on the top 2 boards, just like he was in 2008. So it's going to be a very, very exciting final couple of games, and he could potentially then go to a playoff. If neither Michael Adams or Shreyas win today, you would imagine that playoff is probably odds on 7 out of 9. I think you have to get 7 out of 9 and hope. All those people on 5 are going to have to win and then win the next game and hope that somehow that's good enough for a playoff at least. It's possible that 7 out of 9 could win it outright. If everybody else starts halving out, but it's so unlikely that, say, Michael Adams and Shreyas Royal, one of them's going to score at least +1, maybe +2 the final 2 games, right? Shreyas wins today, he's going to get white in the last round. I think if he avoids Gawain, he's probably going to win the last round as well, to be honest. So this game today, Stuart Conquest versus Shreyas Royal, is a huge, huge game. It's a blockbuster. And so, of course, is Michael Adams black against Gawain. It's an absolute monster game. So leave your comments down below. Who do you think is going to win the British? And do you think that there's a chance that some of these junior players could get in the England team over the next 4 to 5 years? I think it's quite realistic that at least one of them is going to get in the team. It's going to be quite tough because that top 5 England players are very, very strong. A huge gap from the 6th player. Currently the active 6 players, probably some like Nick Purr or Daniel Fernandez. or Shreyas to Luke McShane. There's a big gap, over 100 points possibly, but they could close the gap over the next 3 to 4 years and potentially force maybe Michael Adams might also think if there's somebody young coming into the team, I think he's such a gentleman that he could step aside and say, look, these guys. But at the same time, if he thinks he's better than them, he's going to stay in the team, I think. It's just a question of whether he thinks that Shreyas is, maybe in 3 or 4 years, he might regard Shreyas as a better player than him, and he might step aside. I don't think Shreyas is a better player than him now, definitely not, but he could win this tournament. Anyway, leave your comments down below, and please like and subscribe so I can get promoted on the algorithm.